Being led by Marvel's greatest hunter, Kraven, the Predators have begun their hunt of the Marvel Universe, starting with the Fantastic Four. Today, the Avengers and X-Men will have to test their worth against this deadly foe. The Predator mothership has landed on the dark side of the moon. It sits like a dark castle on the desolate landscape. Slowly, the sides of the ship open wide and release a swarm of Yautja craft that steer towards Earth. At the lead is the Milano, once the home of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, it is piloted by Kraven the Hunter, who leads the Yautja on their great hunt of Earth. He has explained that you must look upon Earth as the ultimate trophy, a skull that you need to strip of its flesh. You have to move quietly and quickly, before the rest of the animal registers the pain. Our only chance is a blitz, 1,000 cuts coming all at once, before Earth can turn its full gaze on us and mount a counterattack. Kraven tells them as he steers the ships towards Earth, but half the group splits off. Kraven will lead one hunting party, while the Yautja, known as Graveyard, will lead the other. Below, Westchester, New York, the Xavier Institute. Professor Charles Xavier and Eric Lenscher sit together in the study, playing chess while discussing the violence between mutants and humankind. They harass us. They legislate against us. They try to kill us. Eric reminds him as he moves a piece. But Charles shakes his head. Man is not a monolith. Yes, there are humans who hate mutants, but so are there mutants who hate humans. More of them every day, no thanks to your rhetoric as Magneto, Charles points out as he moves his own piece. Violent words and violent actions only worsen the future for us all, Charles points out. Suddenly, pain pierces through his mind, and he reaches for his head. His body convulses, and he falls from his chair. "Charles! What's wrong?" Eric shouts as he reaches for his friend. Charles continues to clutch at his head as images of the Fantastic Four's deaths flash before his powerful mind. "No, something is wrong. I felt pain, a cry for help. But it was a warning, too." Charles gasps. "Old friend, I'm honestly terrified," he says as lightning flashes outside as a storm rages, illuminating a ship hovering over the school. Beneath the ship, a powerful inversion magnet is activated. Inside, Eric cries out in pain as he is ripped away from his friend and pulled through the ceiling. Kraven had put Magneto at the top of the Yautja hunting list. Eric's unique powers would make him a powerful enemy, able to bring down the entire hunting fleet and turn their greatest weapon, the god metal vibranium, into a weakness. Eric explodes through the roof and slams into the inversion magnet. His body holds steady for a brief moment before his bones begin to break and crack beneath the strain. Now, the Yautja hunters descend from their vessels, slipping into the darkness of the mansion and looking for their prey. Meanwhile, at the Triskelion, the Milano drops into the atmosphere above New York. SHIELD agents detect the incoming ship and hail them. "This is SHIELD Control, requesting vessel ID and flight path," the head agent orders over the radio. There's a brief crackle of static before an answer. "This is Peter Quill with the Milano, or maybe I should have introduced myself as Star-Lord." The Yautja hunter responds, using his helmet's voice synthesizer to fool the agents. "Permission to dock locally?" he inquires. The agent nods. "Permission granted, Milano. Enjoy your stay in New York," he says, unaware of the squadron of cloaked vessels that break away from the Milano and begin to swarm the city. Meanwhile, at the Weapon Plus facility in Virginia, General Pet's eyes widen in fear as the controlled Yautja brings his claws to her throat. That's enough. You may set General Pet down, Dr. Cornelius says as he enters the room. The general stares in fascination and fear at the monster. I could have you shot for this, Doctor, she points out to the scientist. He nods and pats the creature on the shoulder. But you won't, because what I have here is far too valuable to you, he says, explaining that the creature is some sort of predator that has been coming to Earth for centuries to hunt. He taps the control helmet the Yautja wears. And thanks to my mind wipe technology, this particular specimen now belongs to me, he tells her. Meanwhile, back in the danger room at the Xavier Institute, the X-Men continue their training session, battling against a squadron of Sentinels. Cyclops lets off an optic blast that tears through the throat of one of the robots. He watches as his team cuts through the rest, but suddenly, he turns to see a strange creature watching him. The hell? He whispers. He turns to the rest of the team. Hey Beast, I thought this was supposed to be a Sentinel training program, the team leader asks. Beast stares in fascination at the Yautja hunter. How curious. Perhaps the lightning storm has surged our system, Beast notes. Scott nods his head. Let's reboot. I want to make sure the team is, he starts to say, but the Yautja suddenly moves, pulling out his weapon and stabbing forward, smashing through Scott's lower jaw and killing him. Meanwhile, at Avengers Tower, Captain America notes the Milano as it passes by the window and lands outside. He glances over at Natasha and Clint as they play a game of pool. You know, Hawkeye, it's not much fun to play with a guy who never misses, Black Widow points out. Steve smiles at them. You were complaining about it being a quiet night, Hawkeye. Things are sure to get rowdy with the Guardians in town, Steve tells them as he leads the group outside. The ramp lowers on the ship as Steve calls out a greeting, but there is no answer. Steve suddenly goes still and glances at Black Widow. I've suddenly got a funny feeling about this. Hate to say, I think we might have just walked into a trap, he says as he whirls and unslings his shield, smashing it into the face of the predator that had stalked up behind him. Clint and Natasha both turn and join him in battle. Later, Bruce Banner is standing in his lab. He was another that was high on Kraven's hunt list. The door to his lab slides open, and Captain America's shield is tossed inside. Hello? Bruce calls as he walks across the room. He looks down in shock at the shield, which has been cracked and covered in blood. No! Bruce whispers, anger overwhelming him as his body begins to transform into the Incredible Hulk. He looks up as Kraven stands before him, clad in his Yautja helmet. Kraven knows that like a bear, you don't stalk the Hulk. You bait it, and the Hulk has been baited. And Kraven knows that he and his hunting party will only get one shot at defeating this most powerful of enemies. And that was the complete story for Predator Kills the Marvel Universe, Issue 2 by Benjamin Percy. This is one bloody story, but it's interesting seeing how Kraven would plan to take down the Marvel Universe, with the Yautja as his weapon. How will they fare against the Hulk next time? We'll just have to wait and find out. But what did you think? Let me know in the comments below. I'm Dan with Comicstorian, and we will see you next time. Rest in peace, Benny.